Hey, how you doing, folks? It's welcome back to another episode of A Day in the Life of Larry. As you know, I'm Larry from the original show, A Seat at the Table with Larry and Melvin. I just wanted to reach out and talk to you guys for a little bit about some things that's been going on, and it's kind of crazy right now. Trying to fix my phone because I only have a certain amount of time to do this in, but I am ready and raring to go. So, so many things have happened this week. Excuse me, between this week and last week, you had the situation with the police, the federal agents that are from supposed to be from the Department of Homeland Security. We're going to get into why that's crazy. We also had a situation with Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. We're going to talk about why that's crazy. And I'm going to get into a little bit. So I've been, as you can see, I've probably noticed I'm currently dropping weight. I've been eating healthy. I've been exercising a lot more than what I was. And, you know, it's hard to get back when you get over that age of 40. Really, when you get over the age of 35, your immune system starts to slow down because your body's not building testosterone like it usually was. When you were a kid, your body was building testosterone, just helping to build muscle, build strength, help you grow up. Well, you know, your body tends to slow that factory down when you get over 40. So, you know, right now, I am still not in the gym. I'm still, COVID-19 is still running rampant, so Larry's not trying to go to a gym. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to keep myself as healthy as possible. So I'm eating very healthy. I'm not doing a high protein diet. I'm not taking, only supplements I'm taking right now is just my multivitamins. So I take my packet of multivitamins, which helps me to keep everything in order. And I can immediately tell the difference. So if any of you over the age of 40 and you're not taking vitamins, you are greatly, greatly putting yourself at a disadvantage. Also, I drink a lot more water than I have been in the past. I'm drinking tons and tons of water. I mean, even when I was working out, I would drink a lot of water. I was drinking a lot of other things, you know. But I drink a lot more water now. I'm still drinking wine, a little bit of vodka here and there. But I'm still drinking lots and lots of water. This is helping me because as long as I stay hydrated, my body is able to fix itself and heal itself. So, I mean, so far so good. It's been working really well, so I can't complain. So let's get into the situation with Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. And why is that important? Because the reason why that's very, very important is because it's just another case of where you see how horribly we treat our black women. You know, I have always cared for black women. I've always been on the side of black women. I mean, it's well documented that I believe that our greatest, most amazing commodity is the black woman, because not only have we treated her horribly, we've disregarded her. I mean, Malcolm X has said it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said it. Every black man on the planet says it, but we still treat black women horribly. And we look at that phenomenon, and once again, it's another thing that goes all the way back to slavery, where the black woman was often raped. She was they used to stud her out. Well, they used to have her as a breeding farm, where if she had certain attributes that white men wanted to bring out, they would have her sleep with the strongest man, or they would have her sleep. If her son was a strong young man, she would have her sleep with the young man, and then sleeping with her own son. I mean, it's black women. I remember in old black and white movies where you had Cat Calloway, where he wanted to be with this white woman, and the black woman is like, well, what about me? And he smacks her, and he tells her, don't you worry about what I'm doing. You're going to do what I tell you to do. And it was just a horrible, horrible thing. And then you look at the black exploitation movies. You know, you go back to Black Caesar, you go back to Dolomite, you go back to uh, Black Moses. I mean, you go back to a lot of those, Penitentiary, all these different movies. It was always the black woman who was denigrated and it's shown in a horrible light. You know, you had a few outliers, like you had your Pam Griers's, Jane Kennedy's, who did not play those types of roles, but even in their role, they were objectified and treated horribly. So you look at a lot of those things, and it's just all the way up to now, where you know, black men will consistently talk about, I don't date dark skinned women, I don't date black women, I don't date black, because a lot of it is what the European standard of beauty was. The European standard of beauty was if you were over 110 to 120 pounds, that you were considered undesirable. If you didn't have long flowing black hair, if you didn't have a long neckline like a swan, if you didn't have a lot of these attributes that people would contribute to a European style, you know, you were considered ugly. You know, hence the reason to this day why you have sisters who they try to trim their waistline, they try to get wigs, they try to do all these different things to feel like they fit into the European style of beauty. And then when you look at the beautiful black women who have their hair a certain standard, they are victimized. They are often discriminated against. They're often looked down upon for having locks, for having their hair, for having it short, having an afro, because of this model of style. You know, we only now, but in the last few, or like middle of last year maybe, was when the idea of natural hairstyles actually was something that was in favor of black hairstyles, because it was often treated badly. And then you look at the dehumanization of black women through music. Pull your panties to the side. All these different things like that. I mean, there is no more protection of black women. There's nobody who consistently is willing to stand up, you know, for black women. There's a lot more black women who are standing up for themselves. There's a lot more actors who are speaking and such. But in truth, on a normal everyday basis, you'll see a black woman being treated, getting beaten or dehumanized by their boyfriend or by some stranger, and black men will sit there and film it and start laughing. I mean, you look at the point where the guy hit the poor girl with a skateboard, and the guys were sitting there just laughing, going, "Oh, are you serious right now? That is all you plan to do? You're not even going to go up and choke this young kid out." But that's the standard. And I find it appalling. And then you look at the situation with Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion. So, just like always, you know, when you have two celebrities who are attempting to make a go of it as a relationship, and they are not emotionally mature. You have a man who is definitely not emotionally mature. I mean, Tory Lanez is well documented. He has been in fights. I think he has a Napoleon complex. I think he has a narcissistic tendencies that border on deadly. So you have this person who actually was about to have the world in his hands. He was about to get a TV show. He was having all this extra stuff. He started Quarantine Radio. And I don't know the particulars of their relationship. I know that she had appeared on his show a bunch of times, but as far as the actual relationship, I don't know. To be honest with you folks, I can care less. So they go to a party at Kylie Jenner's house. That within itself is a red flag for me, but I digress. They go to this party with the intentions of they're just going to hang out and have some fun. They go in, they have some fun. Somehow, some way, it's getting late. Meg Thee Stallion is probably, Tory Lanez is like, yeah, let's go. Meg Thee Stallion's like, nah, I'm gonna hang out a little bit. And he's like, nah, we leaving. And don't take me word for word. This is what happened. I'm just giving my generalization. Let me preface this by saying this allegedly happened. So then you take the situation. So they're having a back and forth discourse. The thing is not going exactly the way that Tory figured it's supposed to go. And what does he do? He in turn says, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna show you." Pulls out a gun, and he's probably arguing with her. She's probably got about to get out the car, and he shoots inside the vehicle. And he shoots her in the foot twice. Now, there are a million and one things that could have happened. There's a million and one things that could have went wrong in that situation. There's a million and one things that could still possibly go wrong because she got shot in the foot. It could be something that would hurt her as far as money she can make later. It could hurt her in terms of her being able to dance, being able to do her thing. Right now, she's even traumatized by this whole situation. And what's really, let's pause it right there. Why is it always okay for people to make jokes at black women's expense? Why is that the running joke of ha ha ha, let's laugh about it? This woman's traumatized. She has been shot. As a person who's been shot twice, I know how trauma can feel. As a person who's been up and down bouts with depression and other things that we're not going to get into on this show, I know how terrifyingly real things can become. But for people to make a joke about it, I find it appalling. I find it ridiculous because there's no reason to make a joke about it. There's nothing funny about this situation. So then we go back to, she gets out the car, she's bleeding, she does what every black woman has always done for black men, and she covers for him initially. She says, I stepped on glass. Do anybody understand the reasoning behind why black women always cover for black men? Dave Chappelle, he had The Bird Theory on Netflix, and he said it perfectly. He said, the reason why black women would never turn in a black man is because no matter how bad they treated them, those white men was going to treat them worse. This was something that was trained into our black women from their mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers and things of that nature, because it was always told to black women that we have to protect black men. We have to cover for black men. If you're not in a relationship, you're nothing. If you don't have your stuff together, you ain't doing this. If you don't have this, and this, if these things are not lining up, then you don't have yourself together. And so when you look at that situation and you be honest about it, we as black men have been taking advantage of that simple idea because we don't return that type of loyalty and love. We instead stab them in the back. We cheat on them. We treat them like trash. We fight them. Lord have mercy. But they still want us. So back to the Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation. So you also got to look at the fact that, okay, so they drove off. Somebody gave a description of the car. The car was later caught up. Guess who was in it? Tory Lanez. And an unnamed person. The speculation is the police pulled him over, got him out the car. All of a sudden, they found a gun. So, upon finding the gun, the police arrested him, of course. And you know, the thing that's funny is you're from Canada, so you could be banned from the U.S., which was probably going to happen. Is you're going to get deported back to Canada, and they're going to ban you from the U.S. for good. So you just killed your sales. You killed your touring of America. You killed all that. Any company that was going to work with you on doing anything, you just killed that. You just basically just destroyed a good chunk of your income off of a bad decision that took 5 to 10 seconds to make. And in doing so, you have also affected another person's income. And Lord forbid, if you do walk through this, you cannot tour in Texas because Meg is from Houston. And if you come down here, the national consensus here is there's people who want to hurt you. So now you're passing on that hurt to other people who are going to hurt you, and then they're going to be, it's just a never-ending cycle. All based off of a 5 to 10 second idea that was horrific. But I salute you because, you know, you're going to learn the hard way. I always tell my sons, there's 2 ways to learn things, the easy way and the hard way. Which way you want to learn it? I would get into Kanye. That's too easy. That's low-hanging fruit. I will say this about Kanye. It's nice to see that you haven't changed a bit, Chief. You're that same self-centered, selfish person that ran up on the stage with Taylor Swift was on there talking about how Beyonce should have won the award for single ladies, embarrassing Taylor Swift, embarrassing Beyonce, and then you let yourself be opened up to a situation where you couldn't let it go, so you made a rap song talking about Taylor Swift. You have become a walking joke. You are the antithesis of everything black. You have shown that the only thing you care about is truly your own bottom line. I took the off-ramp when you said slavery was a choice. And the reason why I took the off-ramp when you said slavery was a choice was because it was either, the choice was to either be a slave or die. A choice that you would have probably made to be a slave. So, when you say these ridiculous assertions, I know it comes from a place of you're trying to promote your record, you're trying to promote some sneakers, whatever. The same sneakers, by the way, that when Nike and all these other, you was complaining about the prices of them and how brands make all this money and they don't sell and the amount that it costs for them to make it, but you're doing the exact same thing. And it's made you very, very rich. I cannot knock you, but I can say this, that I'm glad that the world is truly seeing you. You can hide behind your mental illness, or you can hide it behind whatever you want to hide it behind. But the truth is, you have been that same person forever. And you have done consistently dumb things forever. You just choose not to correct them now. and then you choose to turn around when people start to see you for whom you are, you want to turn around and say, well, I'm not on my meds. No more prayers for you, Kanye. Because you're in a position to where you can be the healthiest person in the room, but you choose not to. So now I want to talk about the secret police that's in Portland, now in Chicago, Detroit, and I guess they're trying to go to Atlanta. So the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, Trump has, Betsy DeVos's brother has basically a security team. Basically, they're mercenaries that are used to go outside the United States and work with CIA. They would normally work with the military, CIA, different groups like that. Well, there's nothing going on to where they can make money outside the United States. So what do? They show up to Betsy DeVos's brother, goes to a campaign dinner, offers Trump a lot of money, tells him, you could possibly use my secret police to help with the protesting that's going on. The protesting that is Donald Trump's fault. The protesting that he created with the COVID-19, with not admonishing the police officers who killed George Floyd, and even to this day not saying anything about Breonna Taylor, who was murdered unceremoniously by the police, who still are sitting at home not losing any sleep. So now we hear stories of these particular police officers are riding around and they're snatching people in the middle of the night, snatching them during protests, putting them in unmarked vans, taking them somewhere, and then they're not seen. Because, see, the whole thing now is that Trump has said that he's done away with habeas corpus. Habeas corpus has been suspended during protests, meaning that they can hold you for an unlimited amount of time, and it is lawful. So what these police are doing is they're setting themselves up in all these different cities, and they are continually trying to attack people. You saw them attack the Navy veteran, who, by the way, had got a broken arm. He got sprayed in the face with CS gas, and they just, we're going to do it. This is what we're told to do. This is what we're getting paid to do, so we're going to do it. So why is this important? Why is this such an important situation? See, the rational side of me says that it's important because you're seeing all these people's rights being infringed, the first, fourth, and fifth, everybody always says. But you're also seeing the groundwork, the conspiracy side of me. That conspiracy theory, Larry, says we're seeing the groundwork for Trump to be able to openly attack anybody who he deems a credible threat. And it's okay. It gives Trump the position to say, I can do whatever I want, and I have a police force that's going to back me, as well as. So what we're looking at is, as it gets closer to the election, you're going to see a lot more of this, and he's going to be trying to take responsibility for ending the riots, stopping the protesters, these anti-American Antifa hate mongers. These are women and children and men who are tired. They're tired of all the things that are wrong with this country. And instead of you taking a second and listening to what they have to say, you want to put it on them like they hate the police. Even though the police have unceremoniously been killing black people. But you jumped on that George Floyd bandwagon, didn't you, Trump? You jumped on that bandwagon with both feet. And instead of you saying anything of real substance, you still back the police. Matter of fact, you want to throw more money at them. You still back them doing chokeholds and everything else, because as long as it's not your constituents that are dying, your base that is dying, you could care less. That's my problem with this whole situation, folks. My problem with this whole situation is that because every time when you have a situation where it could be it could be taken care of with just the right words, he goes that extra mile to say the wrong ones. And then when he's confronted with facts, he wants to just push them to the side. Because you know what I find really interesting? Two things. He has said nothing about the bounty killings from Russia. One, he has said nothing, absolutely nothing, about how the Russian hackers, the same ones who helped him get elected, are trying to hack into services to steal the coronavirus. Come on, man. If it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, what is it? So you have now a secret police that's going to all these different places, and all of a sudden, as you watch what I say, because the Department of Homeland Security was supposed to be only around the border. They were supposed to protect the border. Well, of course, they only protect our southern border because Canadians don't want Americans traveling there. And to be realistic, Mexico closed their border. They don't want Americans traveling to Mexico. How sad is it that we've hit a place where Mexico is telling us, can stand on more ground and say, we don't want you to come to our country? Wow. But, you know, that's just par for the course with this presidency. It's par for the course for this type of rhetoric. It's ridiculous in nature, but it is what it is, because, you know, you can't really knock him. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Not make America great, but he's going to make America something. And with this police, it's all coming to a head, because there's no way that you can tell me that what they're doing is legal. So we're looking at our first steps toward a dictatorship. The whole United States is going to be caught in a dictatorship. And we're watching it unfold right before our eyes. And everybody's going to jump to his defense just like y'all always do till that situation happens. And then everybody's going to say, well, how could we have known? How could you have not? So once again, thanks, guys. This is Larry. Day in the life of Larry. Check me out. You can check me out here. You can check me out on our other channel with a seat at the table with Larry and Melvin. You can check me out on Instagram, Mr. Freeze02. You can check me out at Mr. Freeze02 on TikTok. You can check me out on Facebook. Great talking to you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for your time. You guys have a great day, okay? I'll see you on Saturday. Saturday I'll be putting out my next video. I'm going to try and start putting them out on Monday and Saturday. So keep working with me. We're trying to get this thing off the ground. So once again, thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a great day.